Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. Today, Google is quietly suffocating OpenAI's data pipeline. X puts a $1 million bounty on long-form writing. And Matt Damon confirms that your smartphone addiction is literally rewriting Hollywood scripts.
It's a messy one today. We're looking at monopolies just cementing their power, the total commoditization of human creativity, and, well, the absolute destruction of our attention spans.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Absolutely. We have to start with the big one, the lead story on The Wire. It's from a report shared by @TBPN, and it's all about Matthew Prince, the CEO of Cloudflare. He dropped some data about web crawlers that, honestly, it just completely changes how I see the AI race right now.
Yeah, this is the hard news of the day. And for anyone who doesn't know, you have to understand what Cloudflare actually does to get why this matters.
Right.
They sit in front of a huge chunk of the internet, managing traffic, stopping attacks. It means they see everything. They have the God view of internet traffic.
And the doorman of the internet, basically.
Yeah. Oh.
And according to Prince's data, Google's crawler, the Googlebot, is seeing 3.2 times more of the web than OpenAI's GPT bot.
3.2 times.
And it gets worse. It's seeing 4.8 times more than Microsoft's Bing bot.
Just let those numbers sink in for a minute. We're talking 3 to 5 times more data. And in AI, data is oxygen.
Right.
If you cut off the oxygen, the competitor suffocates. What Prince is showing here is that Google is running away with this race, and it's not necessarily because their models are smarter.
Or their engineers are better.
No, it's because they have the access that everyone else is being systematically blocked from.
Okay, but let's break that down, the blocking part. Why is OpenAI getting blocked when Google gets a free pass?
Yeah.
Is it a technical issue?
No, not at all. It's a business decision. It's being made by millions of individual website owners.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. If you run a recipe blog, you are terrified of OpenAI scraping all your content, feeding it into ChatGPT, and then nobody ever visits your site again.
Right, you're out of business.
So you go into your robots.txt file, which is like the do not enter sign on your server, and you just block GPTbot. You block Anthropic. You block Apple.
Okay, that makes sense. They lock the door to protect their content. But why leave it open for Google? Google's doing the exact same thing with their AI overviews.
Because if you block Google, you disappear from search.
Ah.
And if you disappear from search, your business dies. It is the ultimate leverage play. It's basically an extortion racket, whether they admit it or not. Nice website you've got there. A shame if nobody could find it.
So Google gets the pass. They get to scrape everything because they control distribution. And OpenAI, who doesn't have that search monopoly to threaten you with, gets locked out.
Exactly. And that puts that Cloudflare data in a really scary light. They've deflected something like 416 billion AI crawler requests since mid-2025.
So the door is slamming shut on AI.
But Google just walks right through the front door because they hold all the keys. And, this is the cynical take, but I think it's the real one. This isn't about innovation anymore. This is about moat building.
So how can OpenAI even catch up if you're effectively blind to 70% of the web that Google sees?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It raises a massive antitrust issue. Is Google using its search monopoly to unfairly win the AI market?
It really feels like the answer is yes. It's a stranglehold on the raw material for intelligence.
It is. And that forces competitors to look for data elsewhere or, to pay for it. Which brings us to the other side of this platform war.
Right. Let's pivot over to X. Because while Google is locking down data through fear, X is trying to acquire it with greed or... well, let's call it incentives.
Oh, this one is fascinating. Desperate, but fascinating.
So we're seeing posts from @Nikita Beer, who's the head of product at X, and at CB Doge. X is officially paying $1 million.
$1 million.
To the top article posted on the platform in the next 2 weeks.
Just a cool $1 million in cash on the table. No contract, no equity, just a bounty.
And this is for their articles feature, the one that allows for those huge long-form posts, up to 100,000 characters.
So they're basically saying, stop blogging on Substack, come right here, and maybe you'll become a millionaire.
It's a direct shot at Substack, right?
Absolutely. A shot across the bow. X wants to own that long-form journalism layer. They've had the short-form news cycle locked down for a decade. News breaks on X. But they lose you when you click a link to read the full story somewhere else.
They want that time on site.
They want you to stay in the app to read the analysis, not just the headline.
But is this sustainable? Throwing $1 million at a 2-week contest seems... well, chaotic.
Incredibly chaotic.
Yeah.
And look at the incentives. Nikita says it's about high-impact writing. But how are you measuring top articles?
Views, Likes.
If it's engagement, we know exactly what's going to happen.
Engagement farming.
Turbocharged engagement farming. You're not going to get deep investigative journalism. You're going to get the most rage-inducing, clickbaity, polarizing manifestos you can imagine.
Because people are chasing a lottery ticket.
Exactly. It's going to test their moderation systems to the absolute limit.
That's a great point. And I saw some of the reactions pointing out the limits, too. Like, it's U.S. only for now, so it's not some global search for the next great writer.
Yeah.
But beyond the farming, isn't this good for writers? Getting paid is good.
Getting paid is good, yes. But the mechanism matters. There's a skepticism here that I share. Does paying $1 million for one article create a sustainable ecosystem? Or is it just a marketing stunt? Substack works because you build a real subscriber base. You own that audience. A one-time cash grab is fun, but it doesn't solve the core problem of how writers make a living in 2026.
It's a gamble. They're trying to force a behavior change with a pile of cash.
Come for the cash, stay for the formatting. We'll see.
Moving from the business of platforms to the tech itself. We have to talk about the speed of AI video, because if you haven't looked in the last 24 hours, you're missing some mind-blowing stuff.
Mind-blowing is the right word, but terrifying is better if you work in visual effects.
So let's start with this comparison from @Kimenismus. They posted a video that just perfectly sums it up. It compares that viral Will Smith eating spaghetti video from 2023.
Oh yeah, I remember that. His face was melting, the spaghetti was turning into fingers.
It was a total glitch fest. We all laughed at it. It was a meme about how bad AI was.
A total fever dream.
And then they show the 2025, 2026 versions, and it's photorealistic. It is Hollywood quality. They called it acceleration in a nutshell. We went from this is a joke to indistinguishable from reality in, 2 years?
That is the exponential curve right there.
Duh.
Humans are so bad at getting that, we think in straight lines. But AI does nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, it's perfect. The progress curve is just vertical.
And check out this example from @Umashai. They showed a video made with Kling 2.6, the new model everyone's talking about.
Okay.
It's a high-stakes motorbike chase under a collapsing skyscraper. It looks like a scene from a Marvel movie. And the kicker, single prompt, under 10 minutes.
10 minutes. I just want you to really think about what that shot implies. A motorbike, a collapsing building, physics, lighting, dust. That's a team of 50 VFX artists working for weeks.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in billable hours.
And now it's one person, one sentence, and 10 minutes of rendering time.
It really feels like we've moved from novelty to full-blown production capabilities almost overnight. But, and there's always a but with you.
There's always a but. The tech is astonishing. I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
But we have to look at the human cost of this acceleration, because these models, they don't just appear out of thin air.
Right.
They're built by engineers who are being pushed to the breaking point.
Which brings us to that story from @SawyerMerritt about Elon Musk and xAI. This story is, well, it's intense.
It's the definition of crunch culture.
So the story goes, Elon told an employee they could have a free Cybertruck just given to them if they could get a specific GPU training run going within 24 hours.
A literal bribe. Fix this impossible problem tonight and I'll give you a truck.
And the employee did it. Stayed up all night, fixed the problem, got the training run live, and got the truck. And SawyerMerritt frames this as a triumph of motivation.
Of course.
And look, getting a Cybertruck for one all-nighter, that's a pretty good hourly rate.
Sure, and from a shareholder view, it's impressive. xAI built their supercomputer in 122 days. NVIDIA says that should take years. But let's analyze what that really means for the people doing the work.
It's burnout.
It's burnout culture masquerading as the innovation. You can't sprint forever. When you create a culture where the reward for working yourself to the bone is a truck, you create a mercenary environment.
And it sets a standard for the whole industry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If xAI moves that fast by burning people out, OpenAI and Google feel like they have to match that pace. It becomes a race to the bottom for labor conditions. It's move fast and break things, but now it's move fast and break people.
That's a sobering way to put it. And frankly, with the power of these tools, these video generators, maybe they won't need as many people soon anyway. Which brings us to this really weird intersection of tech and the economy.
Yeah, if you think back-end engineers have it rough, look at the front-end talent.
Let's talk about the synthetic economy, because it's not just developers, it's influencers too. I saw this thread from @AIWarper that, honestly, it really creeped me out. They broke down how you can now build a bespoke influencer using a completely automated stack.
Walk me through it. How automated are we talking?
Fully. You scrape clips of real people, run them through an LLM to categorize them, happy, angry, whatever. Then you process the video and use a voice changer. They even showed examples using scraped clips of streamers like Emiru.
They're puppeteering real people.
That's what it feels like.
This is where we just hit an ethical brick wall. This is identity theft at scale. You're taking a real human, their likeness, their voice, and turning them into a digital skin suit you can make say anything.
But people are already doing it. Look at Level Olizio, big name in the indie hacker scene. He posted that he hired an AI e-girl to promote his Rebase creatine supplement.
I saw that. And to be fair, he was transparent. He wasn't trying to trick anyone, but the economics are what matter. Why did he do it?
Because it's cheap. No model to pay, no studio to hire. He just generated a girl holding the creatine and put it on the internet.
And it worked. Mostly. People in the comments noticed her eyes were a little glitchy. The uncanny valley is still there if you look close.
But does it matter? For an ad you see for 1.5 seconds while scrolling?
That's the question.
Yeah.
It's probably good enough. So from a market perspective, yes, this is the future. It's low cost, high control. An AI influencer never sleeps, never complains.
But the legal liability has to be a ticking time bomb.
Oh, absolutely. If you scrape a real person like Himiru to train your model, you're going to get sued into oblivion. We just haven't seen the landmark case yet, but the lawyers are sharpening their knives.
It feels like the Wild West. But, all the synthetic content, these fake influencers, it's all feeding into a device that is apparently ruining our ability to focus on anything real.
The death of attention. My favorite uplifting topic.
This one really hit home for me. At Trung Son shared a clip of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck on Joe Rogan. And, these are A-list guys who know how stories are told.
Do they just sound defeated?
They really do. They admitted they now have to reiterate the plot of a movie 3 or 4 times in the dialogue.
Why?
Because they know the viewers are just scrolling on their phones while the movie is on. They're not paying attention.
Think about how depressing that is for an artist. You're crafting a narrative, trying to be subtle, and the studio note comes back saying, hey, explain the plot again in scene 5, because the audience was probably on Instagram.
They also said they have to hook people in the first 5 minutes. Like it's a TikTok. If there isn't an explosion right away, people just click off.
This is the TikTokification of cinema. We're not just changing distribution. We're dumbing down the art form to accommodate our broken attention spans.
Broken brains seems a little harsh, doesn't it?
Is it wrong, though? Look at the financials they mention. Theaters are only for massive blockbusters now, because that's the only time people put their phones away. Everything else goes to streaming, where it's just background content while you fold laundry.
It's a feedback loop. We make shorter, punchier content because people can't focus, which makes their focus even worse.
So we make even shorter content. Exactly. And that's why those AI video tools we talked about are going to win. You don't need a 2-hour arc anymore. You just need a 30-second dopamine hit.
Well, on that cheery note, I do have one last thing to hopefully lighten the mood. Or maybe just confuse you.
Please, give me something ridiculous. I need it after the death of cinema.
I got you covered. At MKBHD, Marquise Brownlee reviewed a piece of hardware I didn't know I needed. It's the Seattle Ultrasonics C200 knife.
A tech review of a kitchen knife.
Yes, but it's not just a knife. It's a battery-powered kitchen knife that vibrates at 30,000 hertz. It uses ultrasound to cut through food.
So it's a lightsaber for grapes.
Basically. He shows it gliding through a baguette without squishing it. But the punchline, the thing that made the post go viral, was the caption.
Oh, was it?
Sorry dinner's late. I had to charge my knife.
That is the ultimate symbol of 2026 tech right there.
Right?
It's over-engineering a problem that didn't exist. Humies have been using sharp metal to cut things for thousands of years. It works. But now I have to add a battery and a charging cable just to make it 50% easier to cut a grape.
That's cool.
It's cool, sure. But I can't make a sandwich because my knife is dead is a sentence that should not exist in the English language.
Fair point. But hey, maybe it can cut through the tension of this data war we were talking about.
I doubt it. That's going to need something sharper than ultrasound.
All right, let's wrap this up. We've covered Google's data monopoly, the $1 million writer bounty, the burnout engine at XAI, and the fact that Ben Affleck thinks we all have the attention span of a goldfish. What's your prediction for tomorrow?
Connecting the dots between the Damon Affleck news and those AI video generators. I think 2026 is going to see the first major synthetic streaming hit.
Okay.
But it won't be a movie. It'll be something under 10 minutes long, completely AI-generated, that gets millions of views on X or Netflix.
Why under 10 minutes?
Because nobody has the attention span for 90 minutes anymore. The market is screaming for high-quality, short-form narrative. AI can produce that cheaply. We are going to see the Quibi concept finally work, but without any expensive actors or writers.
Just pure, distilled synthetic dopamine.
It's inevitable.
A synthetic Quibi success story. Now that is a bold prediction. Until then, keep your vibes verified.
And watch your wallet.